Hi everyone, my name is Bivarun. I am from CSS Direction. Today's my concept video topic is combustion. The contents in my topic are introduction, types of combustion, rapid combustion, examples of rapid combustion, spontaneous combustion, examples of spontaneous combustion, explosive combustion, examples of explosive combustion, complete combustion, examples of complete combustion, incomplete combustion. Examples of incomplete combustion. What are the factors that support combustion process? Temperature. And conclusion. Moving on to the next slide. First of all, what is combustion? Combustion is a chemical reaction that occurs between a fuel and an oxidizing agent that produces energy, usually in the form of heat and light. Combustion is considered as an exothermic chemical reaction. It is also known as burning. Moving on to the next slide. Combustion does not always result in fire, because a flame is only visible when substances undergoing combustion vaporize. But when it does, a flame is a characteristic indicator of the reaction, while the activation energy must be overcome to initiate combustion, that is, using a light match to light a fire. The heat from a flame must provide enough energy to make the reaction self-sustaining. Combustion of an organic fuel in air is always exothermic because the double bond in O2 is much weaker than other double bonds or pairs of single bonds, and therefore the formation of stronger bonds in the combustion products CO2 and H2O results in the release of energy. The equation for this is 2H2 plus O2 gives rise to 2H2O. Now moving on to the next slide. Types of combustion. There are five types of combustion. They are rapid combustion, spontaneous combustion, explosive combustion, complete combustion, incomplete combustion. Moving on to the next slide. Let's discuss about the types of combustions in detail. First, rapid combustion. Rapid combustion is a form of combustion, otherwise known as a fire, in which large amounts of heat and light energy are released, which often results in a flame. This is used in a form of machinery such as internal combustion engines and in thermobaric weapons. Such a combustion is frequently called a rapid combustion, though for an internal combustion engine this is inaccurate. An internal combustion engine nominally operates on controlled rapid burn. When the fuel-air mixture in the internal combustion engine explodes, this is known as detonation. Now, moving on to the next slide. Examples for rapid combustion are: wax candle burns as soon as we give external energy by lighting the matchstick. Burning of LPG in gas stove. Kerosene stove works by burning kerosene oil. These are the examples for rapid combustion. Now, moving on to the next slide, spontaneous combustion. Spontaneous combustion is a type of combustion which starts because of internal oxidation in the substance which leads to the thermal process. If that particular substance reaches its ignition point temperature and has enough oxygen to start the combustion process, the substance starts burning on its own spontaneously. The rising temperature inside the substance is due to internal reactions which are mostly heat evolving, that is exothermic. This kind of reaction mostly happens in those substances which have less ignition temperature. Now moving on to the next slide. Examples for spontaneous combustion are forest fires. Phosphorus burns simultaneously at room temperature. The reaction of alkali metals when combined with water. Bacteria composting inside organic materials. Many accidents in coal mines are due to spontaneous combustion of coal. These are the few examples for spontaneous combustion. Now moving on to the next slide. Explosive combustion. Explosive combustion is the combustion which happens very rapidly, releasing enormous amounts of heat, light, and sound energy. This combustion process is simply can be said as an explosion. During this combustion, gases are released which spread quickly, resulting in sound energy. Explosive combustion starts when some energy ignites a substance and heat, light, and sound energies released immediately. Now, moving on to the next slide. Examples for explosive combustion are burning of firecrackers, dynamite explosion. Fire breaks out suddenly because of increase in temperature due to sun and friction. Now, these are the few examples of explosive combustion. Now, moving on to the next slide. Complete combustion. In complete combustion, the reactant burns in oxygen and produces a limited number of products. When a hydrocarbon burns in oxygen, the reaction will primarily yield carbon dioxide and water. When elements are burned, the products are primarily the most common oxides. Carbon will yield carbon dioxide, sulfur will yield sulfur dioxide, and iron will yield iron oxide. Nitrogen is not considered to be a combustible substance when oxygen is the oxidant. Still, small amounts of various nitrogen oxides, commonly designated NO species, form when the air is oxidative. Now, moving on to the next slide. Example for complete combustion are when a candle burns, the heat from the wick will vaporize the wax, which reacts with the oxygen in the air. The two products of reaction are water and carbon dioxide. In an ideal situation, all the wax burns up and complete combustion takes place. This is this is one of the examples for complete combustion. Now, moving on to the next slide, incomplete combustion. Incomplete combustion will occur when there is not enough oxygen to allow the fuel to react completely to produce carbon dioxide and water. It also happens when the combustion is quenched by a heat sink such as solid surface or flame trap. As in the case with complete combustion, water is produced by complete combustion. However, carbon monoxide, and hydroxide are produced instead of carbon dioxide. Now, moving on to the next slide. Example for incomplete combustion is an example of incomplete combustion would be burning coal, a fossil fuel, during which quantities of soot and carbon monoxide are released. In fact, many fossil fuels, including coal, burn incompletely, releasing waste products into the environment, which is harmful. This is one of the examples for incomplete combustion. Now, moving on to the next slide. What are the factors that support the combustion process? What are the factors that support the combustion process? There are three factors that support the combustion process. They are sufficient supply of oxygen, fuel which burns during combustion, external heat energy or inner energy that helps the fuel to reach the ignition point and starts the combustion process. Now, moving on to the next slide. temperature. Assuming perfect combustion conditions such as such as complete combustion under adiabatic conditions, that is, no heat loss or gain, the adiabatic combustion temperature can be determined. The formula that yields this temperature is based on the first law of thermodynamics and takes note of the fact that the heat of combustion is used entirely for heating the fuel. The combustion air or oxygen and the combustion product gases, commonly referred to as the flue gas. In the case of your fossil fuels burnt in the air, the combustion temperature depends on all the following: the heating value, the stoichiometric air to fuel ratio, the specific heat capacity of fuel and air, the air and fuel inlet temperatures. These are the factors the combustion temperature depends on. The adiabatic combustion temperature, also known as the adiabatic flame temperature, increases for higher heating values and inlet air and fuel temperatures and for stoichiometric ratios approaching 1. Now, moving on to the next slide. Now let's once again rewind all the slides. This is what is combustion. Types of combustion: rapid combustion, spontaneous combustion, explosive combustion, complete combustion, incomplete combustion. Rapid combustion. Here are the examples for rapid combustion. This is spontaneous combustion. These are the examples for spontaneous combustion. This is explosive combustion. These are the examples for explosive combustion. This is complete combustion. This is the example for complete combustion. This is incomplete combustion. This is the one of the examples for incomplete combustion. These are the factors that support the combustion process. This is the temperature. This is the temperature of the combustion which it depends on. Thank you everyone.